Welcome to Motivation at Hand. To know is to know how. Make your foot the foot that counts. In the shadowed realm of nuclear might. See no evil, hear no evil, speak no fright. Yet beneath the surface, a peril does reside. A threat of waste we can no longer hide. Radioactive remnants in silence they lay. See no evil, but danger will not sway. Hear no evil, but the ticking of time speaks of a danger, hidden and prime. In the heart of reactors, power we harness. See no evil, but the truth we must confess. Hear no evil, yet the future's plea speaks of the need for a safer decree. To confront this challenge, we must be well informed. See the truth, hear the call, and speak what's right. Do not conform. For in facing the threat, truth defined. A future secured, with a safer design. The 2023 report reiterates in several ways. Poignantly, the crucial question of what to do with nuclear waste? Because it has consistently been a major question to answer. There existed a substantial anti-nuclear movement in the USA during the 1980s and even earlier. Experts within this movement consistently cautioned against the non-scientific approach to ensuring both our survival on this planet and the availability of adequate energy resources. However, the pursuit of profits has hindered the advancement of alternative fuel sources since the era of Nikola Tesla. The war material derivatives of nuclear plants held power over any efforts to actually alleviate the poignant question. What to do with the nuclear waste in 2023, as it continues to pile up. The National Academies, Sciences, Engineering, Medicine's report in 2023, merits and viability of different nuclear fuel cycles and technology options and the waste aspects of advanced nuclear reactors. Detailed how the United States is grappling with a critical problem related to its radioactive waste. And there is currently no known solution. This issue has led to the accumulation of nuclear waste across 35 states, making it essential to establish a permanent national nuclear waste disposal site without delay. As the development of small modular nuclear reactors approaches reality in the U.S., there is a pressing need to prioritize the management and disposal of their highly radioactive waste on a national level. This 2023 report underscores the absence of a clear plan for siting, licensing, and constructing a geologic repository for nuclear waste. Even though the Nuclear Waste Policy Act was passed 4 decades ago. Despite the existence of proposed strategies for handling and disposing of this highly radioactive material, the U.S. government has not yet fully embraced this plan. The National Academies report highlights that new or advanced reactor designs, which were expected to alleviate the nuclear industry's waste issue, will not eliminate the need for geologic repositories. In some cases, these new reactors may even worsen the situation by generating more waste that is more expensive to manage. Introducing new complex waste types, or simply increasing the overall waste volume. Before addressing this impending challenge, it is crucial to tackle the substantial volume of waste that has already been generated. The United States, once a leader in nuclear waste management during the 1980s and 1990s, has now fallen behind. Approximately 88,000 metric tons of spent nuclear fuel from commercial reactors remain stranded at reactor sites, with an annual increase of 2,000 metric tons. These 77 sites are spread across 35 states and are on the verge of becoming de facto permanent disposal facilities. Without a geologic repository, there is no feasible way to safely dispose of this highly radioactive material. Storing it in pools and dry casks at reactor sites provides a temporary solution, which is safe for decades but inadequate for isolating this radioactive material from the environment for millennia. The current U.S. policy of indefinite storage at a centralized site is unsustainable as it transfers the burden and risks to future generations. The nation must now adhere to a defined pathway for establishing a national nuclear waste repository. Recommendations from a 2012 Presidential Blue Ribbon Commission and an international expert panel organized by Stanford and George Washington Universities in 2018 concur on the necessity of creating a new independent waste management and disposal organization with separate funding from annual congressional appropriations and budget constraints. The Blue Ribbon Commission suggests the creation of a new federal corporation similar to the Tennessee Valley Authority, while the Stanford GWU panel looks to emulate not-for-profit, utility-owned, yet independent organizations modeled after successful programs in countries like Sweden and Finland. Funding for these organizations is sourced from charges on nuclear power-generated electricity, and they are subject to oversight by independent nuclear regulators. Both panels emphasize the importance of independence for the organization and its finances. Countries that have followed a similar blueprint are making progress in addressing their nuclear waste challenges. Sweden's SKB non-profit recently announced plans to construct a deep geologic repository at Osthammar for permanent spent fuel disposal, while Finland commenced construction of a geologic repository in May 2021, with intentions to accept spent nuclear fuel by the mid-2020s. Other nations like France, Canada, and Switzerland are also advancing toward license applications for construction. To succeed, a U.S. waste management organization must be a reliable and well-funded agency. Sweden's SKB invested decades in public engagement and technical analysis for site selection and is now reaping the rewards. In contrast, the U.S. Department of Energy, tasked with implementing the repository as per the Nuclear Waste Policy Act, suffers from inconsistent leadership and shifting priorities with each administration, eroding public confidence in its ability to fulfill its mission. Most successful repository programs worldwide are operated by independent corporations within the nuclear industry, separate from government control. The nuclear industry is best equipped to manage the later stages of the nuclear fuel cycle, including spent fuel discharge, storage, transportation, and final geologic disposal. Additionally, securing consent from nearby residents is a universal requirement for establishing an accepted geologic repository. Various motivations may drive a community, tribe, or state's decision to host one, such as economic benefits spanning over a century or improvements in infrastructure. Some may view it as a contribution to the greater good of society, especially if they have benefited from nuclear power-generated electricity. As seen in Sweden, the 2012 Blue Ribbon Commission recommends that communities define what consent entails to ensure a successful repository decision. Communities affected by repository placement will need resources to hire their own experts to verify claims made by the designated Nuclear Waste Management Agency. In the U.S., Congress has not allocated funds for its Yucca Mountain nuclear waste program since 2010, and the collection and appropriation of ratepayers' funds, now exceeding $40 billion, have been mishandled, rendering them virtually inaccessible. Shockingly, these funds, derived from electricity ratepayers, are being used to offset the national debt. Even if the U.S. initiates action today, it will take decades to site, design, and construct a facility for the disposal of its nuclear waste stockpile. This process must be accelerated promptly to prevent running out of storage space for them. Growing inventory of highly radioactive waste from the reactors, vital for electricity generation. In Tesla's mind, a vision grand did dwell. Free energy's codes, his secret spell. Invention's spark, a gift to all in need. A boundless source. From greed we must be freed. Tesla's genius lit the way, a beacon bright. Unleashing power, day and endless night. Infinite potential, for the earth to heal. A legacy of greed must continue to be unveiled. Much appreciation to you for giving of your time with us at Motivation at Hand. To know is to know how. We trust you will come back soon.